Good morning. Is anybody else's day all mixed up? It's Tuesday. I had to go back late yesterday evening, and set up the StreamYard so I would remember to do it because I had forgotten because of yesterday being Memorial Day, and it seemed like Saturday all day yesterday. And we had our children over. We had all four of our children, all four of our grandbabies, and uh, they spent a good part of the day over here. And so it just seemed odd. It just seemed different. I don't know if it affects y'all the same way as it affects me, but it just seemed different. Um, but we had a good time. We had a good time. Nobody had to go to the emergency room. Uh, we did have a couple of incidents. When you get four children, four babies screaming and fussing at one another and playing and fighting and all that kind of good stuff, you're going to have some things. My little girl, my little Riley Lane, she has finally learned how to swing herself instead of getting popped. She still tries to talk me into it every now and then. I do sometimes, but uh, swing me higher, swing me higher. Well, I was like putting my foot down yesterday because we was all sitting up under the porch back there on the swing and in the rocking chairs. We was just a talking, and kids were out on the play set. They were playing and yelling and fussing at each other, and Riley hollering at me, "Pop, come push me, come push me." And I was like, "No, you 6 years old. Girl, when I was 6 years old, I had two jobs, went to the first of many proms. I was that's just the way it was back then. Um, Walked to school barefoot in the snow uphill both ways, which is really rare in South Louisiana to do that. But that's what happened. And I was like, you can push yourself. You push you and I've been working with it forever, how you swing. Everybody knows how to swing. I mean, when we was kids, we'd swing, get real high, and then jump off, right? Jump off and go flying, and didn't think nothing of it. Uh, and of course, back then, some of the swings, the legs would rock off back and forth, back and forth. And that was always scary because I was afraid I was going to dump the swing set over. But this swing set won't do that. I built this in myself. And it's, I see that, Bill. This is built where it's not going to do any of that rock and jump. Well, she's just a swinging. She's a swinging. And next thing I know, we hear whoomp. And we all look. And it was, I think it took her breath for a second. And then, of course, then she started crying. And Charity run over there. And I said, what in the world happened? She had slid out of her swing. And lost grip on it. I mean, it wasn't high. I mean, she wasn't at the top, when she slipped out of it. It was down kind of close. But still, she slipped out of it, and it kind of knocked the breath out of her and landed on her tailbone and scared her more than anything. But she was fine, so she had to come sit in Pop's lap for a little bit, and I had to console her. Well, a little bit later, my 5-year-old grandson and his little brother is playing. They got a little thing where they can climb up steps and sit on kind of like a little fort area. And they up there, and they've been playing the whole time. And everything's going. It's got a slide on the other end where they can slide down and come around. Anyway, life was good. Life was good. Next thing we know, we hear like the screaming. We thought an axe murderer or somebody had come into the yard and had done something to Noah. Well, that wasn't the case at all. I don't know what kind of beetle it was. It was a beetle, I kid you not. And y'all probably know. You may already know what kind it is. That beetle was probably about that long and had little pinchers up there. And I mean, we've seen them all our life. You all know what they are. And he apparently stuck his finger just in the right spot of that beetle, and that beetle pinched him, drew blood on the end of his finger. I mean, it wasn't much. I mean, but still, to him, he was being attacked maliciously by this beetle. He didn't know what it was. I mean, he's only, how old is he? He's 5 years old. He hadn't seen a lot of that. I mean, he's seen a few things here and there and all that. And the main thing you got to worry about over here is that we got them little yellow caterpillars that fall out of our sycamore trees. Hate them things. That they just, I mean, they're just constant. I don't know how many. You just be sitting there, and the next thing you know, you'll feel something crawling on you. And if you whack them because you think it's a wasp or something that you know, if you do that, it irritates your skin. It's almost like I don't know if it's stinging or what, but it'll irritate where it was, and it's very uncomfortable for a good little while. And so you got to be careful. You get one crawling, you just pick it up and throw it away. It won't hurt you then. But if you mash that sucker, it's gonna aggravate you for a while. That's generally all they worry about. But he got that beetle, and stuck his finger just perfect. And I guess it got him. And it scared him, is all it did. But other than that, there wasn't very many accidents. So that's always a plus when you have a family get together, that nobody goes to the emergency room. Hello, Miss Brenda. I did not expect that. This is a complete shock. A complete shock. Not an incomplete shock, but a complete shock. Hello, Dee. How in the world are you? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Deborah Rasugiolo. Good morning. Hope y'all are doing well down there in Florida. Hey, Bill. Got you aluminum foil checking on. I seen a leaf move. Ooh, a leaf just moved. That cracked me up. If you hadn't seen it, it's his latest video. And it's a spoof, but it's funny. I thought it was funny. Hello, Michael. Good to see y'all. Good to see you. Hope everything is well up there in North Carolina. And it's Chuck and it's Sherry. Got to meet up with old Shannon the other day, and I was a little bit envious. I want you to know that. I was a little bit envious. But that's all right. I'm glad that y'all were able to meet up and spend some time together. I know y'all enjoyed that very, very much. Hello, Jen. Good to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Stephen, howdy. You probably didn't want to go back to work today. Not after being off yesterday. Good morning, Ashley. It's good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Oh, Ashley. Seems to be doing well over there on her channel. And that changed the name of her channel to Our Urban Homestead. And I like it. I've seen it. No, let's see. I've seen one that's called An Urban Garden, I think. Our Urban Homestead is Annette from Australia. Good to see. Appreciate you coming in. Hey, Paul. Appreciate you coming in and leaving a comment. Always good. Appreciate y'all leaving comments and smashing that thumb, and everything y'all do as far as support is concerned. We do appreciate it. Let me see if I'm missing somebody. I probably am, but I don't intend to. Deb. There's Deb. Mrs. Coffee Walks and whatever. Good morning. Well, I tell you what, that was a nice where y'all putting your garden bed, your flowers, I guess, and I don't know what all you put in there, to be honest with you. But it's got gravel, rocks and stuff, and then like a walk, and then they got a middle thing, and then they got, and OJ running into fences and all kind of stuff going on up there in Canada. Canada. And let me just say this. Hello to all y'all that watch and never comment. Some people just don't like to comment. Some people just like to stay in the background. But I've had people comment or talk to me or mention something about being in the chat and just didn't want to say anything. And that's fine. But I appreciate you coming in. And those of you that watch this later, a lot of people after the fact watch the live, and they'll make comments and things about the live, and I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all taking the time to do that. Sometimes I forget to mention because most of the time I just see those that are in the chat, and my mind is just automatically saying, okay, that's who's in the chat or that's who's in the live. But it's not always, because there's always somebody lurking, or there's always somebody, we call it lurking, but they're watching. They're not lurking. They're watching. They're supporting. And they just don't choose to comment, and that's fine. And then the others that come in later and watch it, and many of those that you get the views, but you don't have any comments from them, but they're coming in and watching. So that's always good. Hey there, RG Arizona Homestead. What's going on in the water hole today? I like seeing that old jackrabbit. I guess that's my favorite, because we don't see a lot of jackrabbit. I mean, we don't see the mule deer over here either, but we see like coyotes and foxes and stuff like that. But we don't have the jackrabbits. They're just a little bit different looking animal than the rabbits that we have over here. And that's pretty neat. Cloud, I can't handle those cloud bug night vision anymore. Hey, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. Good morning. Hey, it's good to see you too. They was up there with the Vineyard Chicks. They got to visit up there with the girls, and I think the girls wrote you a little song or something. And I know that. I know y'all enjoy it. I know they enjoyed it, but I know y'all did too. And that was sweet of y'all going up there and seeing them. You working at the river. Video coming soon. Mark it down, folks. Write it on your calendars, because I like the cabin thing. It's been a while since I've seen a little bit of that. I don't know why. Maybe I missed one, but I don't think I have. But it's possible. It's possible. Hey, good morning, Miss Virginia. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I want to try and get down here. Hey, Jeff. Good to see you back to country. Jeff Lorena over there in Texas. Some Texas folks. Some good old Texans. Miss Colleen down in the way south in the Gulf. I don't know. Is it considered the Gulf? I don't know. I can't keep up with all the different places where they're all are and how they all are. Geography is not my forte. It's not my forte. Hey, bud.
Good morning.
Good morning. I've got to go out to my brother-in-law's today. He is actually moving up to Arkansas, west of Conway. Those you Arkansas people. I see, Stephen. He hadn't been up there. Okay. I didn't think I missed it because I think that's interesting how the way that y'all have done it so far. What was I talking about? Oh, Arkansas. Yeah. They're going to Arkansas. Bryson Hayden Farms. You might have seen him on here a time or two. He don't spend as much time on YouTube as he used to. He goes more toward that TikTok stuff. But every now and then he'll throw a video up on here. And plus, he's been in the process the last couple of months of transition, trying to change, get everything in order to go up to Arkansas, I believe. But anyway, they're moving up to Arkansas, just west. I want to say he said 20 to 30 miles west of Conway, Arkansas. And I'm going to say this name wrong, and I know y'all going to laugh at me, but I think it's Petit Jean. Is it? I don't know, Petit Jean National Forest or State Park or something up there. Petit Jean. Anyway, Petitjean. It sounds French, don't it? Petit. And I would think French would be Jean. Petit Jean. Whatever. They're moving up there, okay? And they've got to be out of where they're at tomorrow. And he called me up, and he had them watering bucket, them self-wicking, Petit Jean. Anyway, has several of those self-wicking buckets and a few other things that Petit Jean. I'm gonna say it my own way. I'm gonna say it my own way, and I think it's French, and I think it's supposed to be said with a French accent. Petit Jean almost sounds like Betty Jean or Betty Joe or Bobby Joe or Betty Joe or Bobby Jean or Billy Bob. No, that's too redneck. It's got to be French, Francais. Petit. It's petit, little. Petit Jean. Self-wicking buckets. Now, I hadn't tried those yet. I've looked at them. I've seen them online. I've seen people do them. They intrigue me. The way that they work. Oh, look at you. Look at you, girl. Look at this, Miss Brenda. She's got it right there. Anything and everything that you need to know. And then we got D over. Hey, OJ. D per Google. Petit Jean State Park. Slow. Petit Jean State Park. Petit Jean. Bryson. My brother-in-law, Hayden Farms. I actually had him on my live probably a year or two ago. Well, it hadn't been 2 years, but at least a little over a year. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Annette, we understand. The slow was to hear it. Petit Jean. Where is it? Petit Jean State Park. Bryson, my brother-in-law, Blenda's brother, is moving to Arkansas. Got these self-wicking buckets, got a few other things that he wants to get rid of. He don't want to haul to Arkansas. He's got some he wants to bring to his daddy. So I told him I'd just go up there with my truck, pick it up. I'd bring the stuff to his daddy, and what his dad don't want, I just bring to the house. And we'll do something. We'll put it back in the back with everything else we got. Out of the sight of the road, because Blenda gets upset when I put all my junk out by the road. I don't know why. Hey, Peter Dale, good to see you. Kind regards to you as well. Rochelle mentioned something about, I can't remember what it was. Oh, something about the compost pile. And she was saying, that some people use urine as a fertilizer or as to on their compost piles and stuff like that. And she said, seriously. And of course, I've seen that. I've seen people on YouTube. That's what they do. Hey, Breezy, good to see you. Good morning from Vermont. I've always thought Vermont would be a nice place to live, or at least to visit. I've never been there. The only thing that I've seen about Vermont has been on Hallmark channels, Hallmark movies. But I mean, it always looks nice. It always looks real. Y'all use it as a deer deterrent. Anyway, somehow or the other, she said something like that. And, you could urinate on your plants and stuff. And so I wrote her back and I said, well, I tried that, but the neighbors complained when I was watering my rose bushes out by the highway. And my wife got on to me for that. She said, why in the world would you type that and say that? And I said, well, I thought it was funny. Rochelle would appreciate it. Rochelle Brampton Gardner, you know who I'm talking about. She would appreciate something like that. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Good morning. Appreciate it. Use it as a deer detergent. Everybody talks about the way I talk. I had that video and saying something about soul, and everybody was saying they thought I was saying soul. I don't get it. I don't think I talk with an accent at all. I don't think I have any kind of Mississippi twang at all. But apparently, a lot of people did. Apparently, a lot of people thinks that I have a little bit of a twang when I talk. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't hear it. Listen, I look back on some of these videos and listen to myself talk. I said, no, I sound just normal. I sound normal as can be. Everybody else seems weird in the way that they talk, but not me. I talk normal. You think? Yes, you do. Sounds a lot like me. It just sounds country. I put up my trellis for my rattlesnake beans, which, by the way, I'm loving them so far. This first year I tried raising, but they're doing just sound normal to me and us's. But yeah, them Okies, I don't know, but I like the Okies. I like the Oklahoma folks, so I can't pick on them too much. But my trellis, some of y'all seen my trellis, some of y'all may not have. Well, I rednecked it. Okay, a lot of people are getting these cattle panels, and they're all neat and nice and everything. And I got a piece of conduit, and I bent it. Looked like my 5-year-old done it for me. Anyway, kind of built a little arch and duct taped it to some T-post. And then the middle one, I just got a tree that I'd cut down, a little small one, and bent it over. Raising rattlesnake pole beans, Peter. Rattlesnake pole beans. Anyway, I duct taped. Yeah, zip ties probably would have worked, but I didn't think about that at the time. I had duct tape on hand. And then I pieced together wire that I had laying around out back, and some chicken wire, some hog wire, some I don't know what kind of wire. Just anyway, I kind of pieced it all together and made me a little arch. And you can't tell nothing now because the beans have all grown up on it and it has covered it. I love it, y'all. I'm not squatting down, bending over, which I bend over a little bit, down toward the bottom ones. Just after midnight, goodness gracious. It is 9:24 a.m. here in Purvis, Mississippi. you're in Australia, like we in Australia are in the future. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's a little after midnight there. It's about 10:20, about close to 10:30 in Perth, I think, where Annette from the Urban Homestead is. She's always like an hour, about an hour ahead of me, I think, or 13 hours ahead of me. I'm sorry, 13 hours ahead of me. I think I said that right. Hey, Andale, good to see you. Andale comes on at 10 o'clock. Make sure you go over there and check her out. My trellis. Called it redneck. Called it, and I think it was Nick. I may be wrong. I think it was Nick at Multi-Hunter 24/7, 247. I think he was the one. He said, he made a statement. He said, it's not whatever. I can't remember if I was calling it redneck or whatever. Whatever I was calling it. He said, no, it's none of that. He said, it's country. It's country. That's right. And I got all that because Jeff back country had said, sounds country to me. I give you all that story. I didn't charge you a dime for it. Not a child. It was free of charge about my redneck trellis that we have now determined as not being redneck, but being country. It's awesome, y'all. It's awesome. I love it. Now, I will say this. I think maybe I will go up there and see if I can find me a cattle panel. They put one or two up at a time because, y'all, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. You want your money back? I give it to you for free, so I guess I'll double your money back. Don't run like a chicken with your head this morning, Ann. I've seen that happen. They just flop and flop and flop. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Back when I was younger, in my younger days, we seen that. There's a little bit newer methods of doing it nowadays than it was back then. But back in the old days, back in my day, back when I was 6 years old and I had 2 jobs and went to my first prom and I can't remember what all else I said. Anyway, all right. So I've got to go out to Bryson's. And he lives about an hour away. So we're going to have to go out there. I'm going to enlist the help of my son, Paul. Woo! Yeehaw! And we're going to go out there and load up some wicking buckets. And I think they got soil in them. Soil in them. I think they got soil in them. So that's what I got to do today. And there was something else I needed to do, but I can't remember. So I'm not going to worry about that. It's probably important. Let me tell you before I get off here. Blinn and I are going to the camp this weekend. We had actually intended on going to a wedding over in Ruston, Louisiana, or actually Minden or something like that, Louisiana, on the other side of Ruston, Louisiana. We'd intended on going over there for that. And then I got thinking about, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go to no wedding. I wanted to be married. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't want to go to the wedding. You know what I'm saying? You did. You did. I have, as a minister, I've had people ask me to perform their marriage ceremony. And I only pretty much do it on special occasions or people that are close to me nowadays because I just don't like it. I don't like, and I know somebody's got to do it, but I'm saying, go to the justice of the peace. You don't need a minister to marry you. There's nothing in the Bible that says a minister has to marry you. Go to the justice of the peace. Get online and get your best friend to get his marriage, whatever. You can get married 100 different ways today. But I understand some people want a minister to marry them, and there are some people that we're real close to, and of course my own church members. I had to do them, but I don't have to. I don't mind that. But like people, just random people coming and saying, uh, would you marry me, or calling me up and saying, would you perform our marriage? And I'm like, oh, I'm busy on that day. I'm sorry. What day is it? Uh, anyway, that soil is going to be dirty, Paul. It's going to be dirty, dirty soil. But me and Belinda is going. We're just going to go to. We decided instead of going all the way there, we're going to stop there just this side of Vicksburg and go to the camp and just hang out for a couple of nights. Leave Thursday evening, get there Thursday night, and then spend Friday. Friday, we're going to do like thrift stores and garage sales and things like that, and just get out and just do. And then Saturday, Gary from Belt Loop 29 or YouTube Police, or I don't know what channel he's got nowadays. He changes it every other day, it seems like. But he has got some kind of meetup in Florence, Mississippi, which is on the way back. I do believe it does, Paul. As long as I think you have to be ordained or licensed as a minister in order to do that. So, unless they've changed rules, I don't know. I don't think they've changed the rules. And I don't know. I hadn't looked at them in 30 years, so who knows? He's got 5 channels. Anyway, they got a meetup in Florence. And I think me and Belinda may stop back by Saturday because we got to come back through there anyway. I mean, that's one way we can come back, and that's generally the best way. Come back through there, and we probably going to stop there. And Ralph from Webb's Web said he's going to be over there, so we'll get to see him. We met him in Kentucky, and we met Gary down in Florida, and now we're going to meet them both in Mississippi if everything works out right. Okay. Hey, Bert Window, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. So we're going to just get away for a few days, and I don't know what the kids are going to do when they're unable to come by the house or call us and say, we need you to do this or we need you to do that. And we're not going to be here. I don't know how they're going to get by. I don't know how they're going to survive. I mean, I know that the youngest one is 20 years old. He's fine. He's ready for us to go because he lives with us. He's in college and he's still here. So he's like, y'all get out of here. Go, 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 go. And let's see. I don't know how to delete it, Bert, or else I would. Anyway, yeah, they'll survive. I know they will. My oldest is going to turn 30 in just a couple of weeks. And then it goes down from there, 30 to Hayden will be 29 in July. Faith will be 25 in September. And so I'm thinking they'll be all right. I'm not sure how they'll get by, though, without us. But we're going. We don't care. Y'all, I had to run the deer off again Sunday morning. Y'all know about my deer saga. I was out walking Sunday morning early. It's just right after daylight. I walk around the yard, and I was walking around. I done walked around a couple times, and I come back, and by the woods, I'd raked up some leaves, and here's our deer. And she's just in there in the leaves, kind of moving, Hey, good eats, Homestead. How in the world? Good morning. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. So anyway, this deer I said, well, it's right by the woods. It'll be easy to scare off. And I'm like, get on out of here. Get on. Go, 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 go. got me a stick and kind of threw it at, That deer don't care. It finally, one of the little sticks hurt or hit it on the rear end, and it kind of went off to the woods. I said, all right. Well, I continue walking. I make 2 or 3 more laps, and I don't know how many laps I made, but I was getting ready to stop, go in my greenhouse, spend me some alone time in there, and get ready for the day. And all of a sudden, I heard this awful noise out behind it by the dog pen. I said, what in the world? I go out there and I look. The deer, I don't know what he was doing. I guess he was over there sniffing noses with the dogs, which is in the pen. I didn't let him out because I didn't want him chasing the deer. It's over there sniffing noses with them. So I try and run this stinking deer off again. And it takes me forever. But this time it just went off into the pasture next to us and just kept on going. And I don't know where it went after that. So anyway, you can I think I had like a thing on Instagram or something for that. I got some roses sharing. Hey, Spring Meadow Farm and Garden. I got some roses sharing cuttings that have rooted. I'm trying to figure out where to plant them. I've never planted them before. I know they get pretty big, and I'm trying to figure all that out. Hold on. Whew. Sorry about that. I had some tea on, and I forgot about it. I didn't want it to boil over and cause me a mess. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here, and it was super cool this morning. Anyway, doing some roses sharing, and of course a lot of other things that we're rooting. But I've never done the roses sharing before. They're apparently very, very easy to propagate. So, but I'm worried about them. I think they're kind of like a crepe myrtle that they'll just keep putting out. You got to keep it tended to pretty good and keep it cut, or else it'll get out of hand. But that's all right. I can do that. I just don't want a bunch of them. 2 or 3 maybe. And I've got I don't know how many of them I got. I got a bunch, so I probably have to pot them up and give them away if somebody wants them. What else am I trying to do? That's about all I'm doing, y'all. That's about all I'm doing. I have got to run. I appreciate y'all coming in. I'm going to try and get around and get this, get out to, because it's 2 hours just there and back, a drive. And then I've got some other things that I've got to handle today. So I probably need to get on ahead and do that. But y'all get over to see Ann Dale at 10 o'clock. And I don't know who all else is coming on. Danny Days Ahead, Mountain Grandma, Yogi Hollow Farm at noon, and a bunch of other folks. But I do appreciate y'all coming in. I hope you muscadine cuttings take for you, Jen. And look, appreciate y'all coming in. It really means the world to me. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. And we'll talk. That's right. We'll rejoice in it and be glad in it. God bless. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Good to see you too. Yeah.